One of the items that doesn't seem to be working well is this summary function. So let me type summary and then the name of the data frame, which is IP reputation, IP, and then press tab, close parentheses, semicolon, press enter. And I know this is different from what you're seeing in the screenshot in the instructions, because the first variable is IP, which is a string of characters, and in the instructions the output shows the frequencies as a summary, but this doesn't do it, and we need to do a little bit of workaround to make that happen. I'm talking about showing the frequencies, and this also helps with your step number 6. But before we do that, let's add the column names, because right now they're just generic placeholders like V1 here, V2, V3, and so on. So type col names and then press tab, and then IP reputation, close parentheses, C. So we'll use IP as the first column name. Reliability is next. The third column is risk. Next one is type. Country. Location. Coordinates. And X. Then semicolon. So let's just make sure we don't have any errors. It looks good. Press enter. And then I'm going to try to do the summary function again, but here you can recall the previously typed in commands by pressing the up arrow key. So these are just little secrets, shortcuts to make your life a little easier. But if I press the up arrow key, I can recall the command I used previously, and then I press enter. And as you can see now, we have column names instead of placeholders. Reliability is there. So looking good. So far so good. So now let's do the workaround here a little bit. For that, we need to install a new package called PLYR. So type install packages, and don't forget the single quote here, PLYR, close single quote, semicolon, press enter. And it says, would you like to use a personal library instead. Yeah, say yes. Would you like to create a personal library in this directory? Yes. And this takes just a little bit of time. It's asking for which repository to use. I'm going to just pick USA, Texas. Click on OK. We're getting an error message here, but it's fine. It's not an error message, actually it's a warning. So the package is installed, but you still have to load it. Load the package. So for that I say library, and then this time no quotes, PLYR, and then semicolon, press enter, and it complains a little bit, but it's also fine because the version we're using is 4.0.1 instead of 4.0.2. Now with this, what we can do is we can create another data frame from the original data frame, which is IP reputation, and I want to put, for example, the country column from the original data frame, which is IP reputation, into this new data frame. Doing that is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is to give a new data frame a name, which is Y. I'm going to call it Y, and equal sign assignment in this case. And I'll use the count function, COUNT, because what we're interested in is really showing the frequencies of all these countries, how many times these countries actually show up in the column. So that's what I'm doing, checking the frequencies of the categorical variable, in this case country. So count, and then the original data frame, which is IP reputation, comma, and then the column I want to extract, which is country, COUNTRY, and then single quote. So let's check count, IP reputation, country, and semicolon, press enter. Now we have a separate data frame just containing the frequencies of country codes showing up in the column. And let's see what's in the new data frame, which is Y. Press enter. And as you can see, we have everything, including US, which is showing up for 5,439 times in the column. As you can see, the list is not sorted, and to sort the list I can use this arrange function and put the sorted list into another data frame, which I'll call X. Arrange, and then the data frame we were using earlier was called Y, comma, and then based on frequency, so I'm gonna say FREQ here, semicolon, and press enter. Let's see what happens. Nothing, because there's no display action I requested. So to see what's in X in the data frame, just type X, and semicolon, press enter. And it is sorted, as you can see, in an ascending order. So US is still showing up here. But I want a descending order. So to do that, let's recall our command, which is this. And I'm gonna put a minus sign. Yeah, the negative sign there. Press enter. Nothing. Good sign. A good sign. And then let's see what comes. So now, as you can see, it's a descending order. And I want the top 10 frequencies here. So I'm going to be using this. So I'm going to be using this function called head. HEAD. And the data frame is X. And I want top 10. So I'll put number 10 here, parentheses, semicolon, press enter. And here's your top 10 list. Not too bad.